consequence of capsizes.
He's a happy boy.
You gotta be chef too. And think about it. Next time he does that, we're just gonna start tacking and let him come with us and Jeff run. You know?
Yeah, he's gonna die in about
Maybe a Wilbur. So that's why we do them like this.
They ought to be in line with these things.
Well, well, close to.
This one's for Leslie. Tim, right, you go on TV then.
Dan kan man ook met vaart wel.
And it didn't look good.
Funny.
All right. Okay, Peter?
Yep. Yeah.
Well, Peter, someone who's won the World Championship 4 times, what do you put your success down to?
A long time of sailing. I started when I was about 10 or 11. And sailed a lot when I was young. I perhaps don't sail anywhere near as much now, but I did sail a lot when I was young. And a lot of it comes second nature, just through time. After I left the Navy, I put a lot into just club racing around the cans on a lake, and I think it's I'm relying on that experience now, perhaps.
Because the 505s is a particularly demanding class, isn't it?
It is, yes. There's a lot of sail to handle, and just making a sail work for a maximum amount of time is really kicks about going nicely, and that makes a difference.
Is it a physical challenge or as much a mental challenge?
It's both. Yeah, it's, you have to think, and you need to be fit enough not to be worried about the discomforts of aching limbs or out of breathness. But you don't need to be an Olympic athlete to win. You know, I'm not super fit, but I'm fit enough that it doesn't bother me.
And presumably having a good crew is equally important.
Oh yes, yes, you've got to work well as a team. You've got to get on in the boats, and he's got to be fitter than me, really. He's got a big sail to handle.
Do you have much time to think when you're in the boat, though?
Yeah. It's things. It turns down into slow motion sometimes. I'm sure somebody doing the hurdles probably, although it takes a split second to get over, he's probably trying to think about it.
But this competition is one which you've dominated over the years. Is it getting harder now? Is the level of competition much stronger?
Yes, it is, yes. Or, but I'm getting too old, perhaps.
So where will the biggest challenge come from this year?
Certainly the Swede, Christer Bergstrom, I think. On the form we've seen in the pre-Worlds, he's got to be the big threat. Plus the American Jeff Miller is not going to make life any easier for us. And most pre-Worlds are different than the actual championship. There'll be a few dark horses will pop up.
Is that because people hold back during the pre-Worlds? Do they just like to get to know the water as much as anything?
I don't think they necessarily deliberately hold back, but in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, well, this is not really the real thing, you know. So the adrenaline is not flowing to the same extent. Plus, people will be trying out different sails and looking for that bit extra. And in the process of looking for that something extra, you're not always giving the actual tactics at 100%.
And how different will it be for some of the local competitors from the eastern region to compete on the sea? Because of course many race at Grafham Water, which is inland.
Yeah, well, they've probably travelled around a fair bit, and they'll probably handle a boat better if they've been sailing on the lake a lot, because there's less room, and you've got to tack more often. The wind's shifting and oscillating more frequently. And as I say, they'll have done plenty of time on the sea as well.
Well, I hope you all the best, or wish you all the best for this coming week,
yeah.
and hope you come out with a 5th world title at the end of it.
Well, I wouldn't.
I suppose this is a return to home territory for you, really.
Very much so, yeah. Yeah, I'm very pleased to be here. This is maybe my last year as competitive 505 sailing, but sort of hung on to make sure that I could treat this as maybe the last final event, but we'll see.
How tough is the event now? It's a very popular class, isn't it?
It's very tough, yeah, and a lot of the European sailors.
Well, Peter, a return home for you, this, isn't it? But Felixstowe's got some special memories.
Yes, very much so. I was born down here and spent my whole childhood down here. Learned to sail down here. Started sailing 505s in 1968. So, yes, very much a homecoming for me.
And how about the possibilities of winning the world title now?
Oh, I think that's pie in the sky now. I'm just not that competitive now. We're hanging in there in this pre-world event, but I've got no great illusions about winning this event again.
But you're one of the few people who's perhaps been able to make a living out of the sport, actually building 505s. Are they a particularly popular boat now?
Yeah, it's quite popular. It's a popular class in Europe, and we manage to sell boats to America occasionally, so yeah, we can make a bit of a living out of it. We're not getting rich, but we're making a living, and it gives me the opportunity to go sailing as well.
How sophisticated are they now?
The setups are quite complex. The rig controls in the boat now, so that you can move the rig from back and forward depending on the wind conditions to alter the sails for heavy wind. So it's getting quite technical compared to what they were when I first started sailing the boats.
They're certainly very quick in the water as well. Have you been able to work on the development of the speed?
Well, we're working on it all the time, but I mean the main thing really is to make sure that you go as fast or just slightly faster than the opposition. We're not really worried about the overall speed of what we're doing. It's more of a tactical thing, and just to make sure that nobody's going faster than you.
In an event like this, a World Championship, obviously the conditions can change every day, but will that be to the disadvantage maybe of some of the British competitors from places like Grafham, where they're fishing inland? Well,
not really, because the rigs are very variable now, and people do sail on the sea a lot. I mean, we've done quite a lot of training here this year, for instance, and we've had variable conditions. We've had it from thunderstorms and force 8 down to very light and tricky, and so everybody knows exactly how to change the rig for the changing winds. And it's so important that as soon as you get a wind change, the boat has to be changed instantly, otherwise you'll get sailed over, and it's too late then, once you realise. So you've got to be on top of it all the time.
Now, this is the first time the Worlds have been held in Britain for 10 years, but you've had the opportunity to have a look at the course and to sail here in the past. Will that be to your advantage this year?
Well, local knowledge will help, and plus the fact I know all the race team, and so, you know, I can always communicate with them ashore and get an idea of what they're thinking. But the race area is fairly even. The tide across the course doesn't really involve very much local knowledge. There's no banks out there and no tidal changes across the course. So, but I've got a bit of an advantage in that I do know what's going on out there.
Well, I hope you have a successful week, Steve.
Thanks very much.
How did it go for you?
An interesting race.
Could have been better.
With Mr. Bergstrom, what were your thoughts about your strategy today? What were you going to do?
Yeah. Well, I was going to go out and win the race, and in the latter part of the race, I was going to make sure that